What's going on, everybody? Gary B. Jr., your media consultant here. And today we're going to be going into the FreeShow lab and we're going to have some fun. What we're going to do is we're going to look up a way to have silent communications with the folks on your volunteer team, whether they're on the media team. These could be people that are in youth group, wherever it is, but you're going to be the director. So usually it's going to be somebody in media. Maybe they're on the stage in a worship band or whatnot, or maybe they're on a camera, but you want to be able to communicate with them in a way that's completely silent for whatever the reason. Maybe it's because you all are in the open space together. There's no media booth that's separated. So you can't really talk. You can't use comms over ear. You have to be able to communicate with them somehow, and you don't want to just do text message because you're constantly looking down at your phone. You can use FreeShow to be your communication hub, and today we're going to learn how. All right, to do this, we're going to use 4 simple steps or parts of FreeShow. All right, so the first one is going to be we're going to be creating variables. All right, so we need to be able to create variables. So this is going to be a very advanced way to use FreeShow in this way because it does involve multiple parts. All right, so variables will be our first step, and then we need to be able to create some stage layouts. In those stage layouts, we're going to add some conditions, and then once we do that, we're going to use the connections to allow people to see this on their mobile device. All right, so let's put this all together and see what it looks like. All right, so I'm going to share my screen with you here, and you can see I'm in FreeShow. And the very first thing we'll do, let me pull it up to where you can see it a little bit bigger. We're going to go to our functions tab in the drawer at the bottom, and then we're going to select the option on the left that says variables. All right. Now, for me, I've already created one called Media Team Messages. That's an actual tag. If you have not created a tag, all you got to do is right click on any of your variables if you have any, and then select the option that says set tag, but then select manage tags. When you do that, you'll be able to go in and create new tags. All right, I've got a few of them here, but you can create one and color code it however you want to. All right, and you can also edit by deleting these here as well. All right, so I'm going to go to my media team messages and I'm going to add a new variable. And for our variable, we're just going to name it the name of our volunteers. All right, so I'm going to call this one George, and you might name it the name of the position. But if you have multiple cameras, this is going to be the better way, right? So you can just name them exactly what their name is. And this is going to be real easy for them when we get to that final step of them going into the stage view. All right. So we got George, we got Ruth, and we'll do another one, Carol. All right. And all I'm doing is typing those in, hit enter, and it locks it in. And so now I've got 3 people that I'm going to communicate with. There's nothing in here yet, which is fine because this is where we're going to type to communicate with them. But the next step is we need to create some stage layouts. All right. So to do that, I'm going to go up to stage. Okay. Up here in the top 3 menu, and we're going to do new layout, and it gives you an option to name it. So I'm going to call it Media George. And I'm using that the word media because they're going to go in alphabetical order. This just makes it easier for you to have them all grouped together. All right. We're going to do Media Carol. And then one more new layout. This will be Media Ruth. All right. And so now I've got 3 different people here for their own stage layout. The next thing we need to do is, and you could easily, I guess we could have just duplicated those as well. So let me do this a little bit different. Let me delete, and I'll show you a quick way to do this. All right. So if I go here to Carol, I'm going to add in a text box, but it's not going to be a regular text box. It's going to be a drop-down option for dynamic values. And we're going to look for Carol. Near the bottom, you're going to see your created variables. All right. So I'm going to put Carol in there. And we're going to make hers be here. And this may or may not work better. We'll see. All right. I'm going to go here, right click, and I'll duplicate. And then we'll call this one George. Yeah, it doesn't really make much of a difference. All right, because it puts Carol in there. I don't want that to be Carol. I need that to be someone else. So if I go here, I guess I could just change it to be George. All right. And then we will duplicate that one. And we'll call this one Ruth. All right. And then here, we're going to change this. And this is a quick way to add those dynamic values, basically. All right. And it puts it there. And if you wanted to, you could go back. If you did it the first way where you added the layouts first, you would just go into each one and then go to your items, and you can hit this drop down and you will find those names near the bottom. They're going to be variables, so they're going to have that $ in front of them. You'll see Carol, George, and then if I go down to the R's, you'll see Ruth. All right, and they're all lowercase, which is perfectly fine. That's the way that this is designed to work. So we just typed them in, and it's just as good. All right, so we got our stage layouts, we got our variables done. Now we need to add some conditions. Okay, so let's go to the first one, Carol here, and we're going to click on this box, this text box. I'm going to right click and select the option that says conditions. In the conditions, it automatically puts in show item if, and it shows variable Carol, and it says is not, and it shows the value is blank. Now I'm in FreeShow beta, or I'm in FreeShow 1.5.0 beta. This will be the case for anything 1.5 and later. All right, so 1.5.0 beta or later, it's going to look like this. If you've got an earlier version, it's going to look a little bit different in your conditions menu. This is a more updated version of it that is really cool and really sweet. But if yours does not look like this because you've got an older version, you would put in the same information. So you put in variable and you would select as your type variable instead of any of the other options there. And then you would pick your item. You would be able to hit the drop down and you'll see all of your items. And these items represent variables that you created. Okay. And then the mode is not is what you will make sure that you select. All right. And then you keep the value blank. So basically, show item if Carol's information or her variable is not blank. That's all it means. So if something's in there, show it. If it's nothing in there, keep it blank. All right. And you would do that for each of the text boxes that you created, or the dynamic field boxes. We right click conditions and it automatically is there. Perfect. And if it's not automatically there like this, if you're in an older version, then you got to manually put it in there just like we talked about. All right. Go here, conditions, and it's automatically there for me in the 1.5 and later. All right. So we got that done. So now let's test it out. In order to test it out, what I would recommend if you're going to be the director, it wouldn't hurt for you to have everybody's preview window up for you to see. So we're going to create that real quick. So we're going to hit the plus sign. We're going to do stage. We're going to pick Carol. It locks in and puts her name there. We're going to hit the plus sign again, stage. We're going to pick George. It automatically puts his name there because that's the layout that we selected. Plus one more time, hit stage. We're going to select Ruth. All right. And her name is there automatically. All right. Media Ruth, Media Carol down there, and then Media George is here. Now we got all those windows here, but they all look blank. But let's see if we can fix that. So going back into your main window here, right, under the shows category of the big three, you're going to be here working on FreeShow throughout the service. And this is where you can add notes. So Carol, maybe she's on the far right camera. So we're going to say, Carol, hey, we need you to pan left. And when we hit enter, it automatically pops up and it tells Carol to pan left. Now that view is not very easy for her to see, even though it's pretty easy to see there, but I want to make it even more visible. So let's go back into our stage setup. I'm gonna go to this and I'm gonna right click, not right click, I'm gonna go to the items, right? After I select that text box, I'm gonna make that text box be a little bit easier to see. So you can pick burgundy, you can pick blue, yellow, green. I like to be a little bit more discreet. So I'm gonna do burgundy in terms of discreet, in terms of not distracting for those around the person in the media team. And I'm gonna make all these just be burgundy. I'm just going to each of them and then I'll keep the text the same size, same color. It works fine on burgundy. All right. And now we go back to our show. We can see pan left for Carol. For George, we're going to say turn mic 3 up. Okay. And for Ruth, we're going to say zoom in to close up on speaker. All right. Hit enter. And they each have a unique message. You'll see that one there, that one there, and that one there. All right. Now, how do they see it is the next and the final step. So in order for them to see this, they got to go to their settings. And I'm going to grab my phone here, or you got to go to the settings, I should say, as the leader. And you're going to go over to the left where it says connections. And from connections, we're going to select the option that says stage show. We're going to turn that on or activate it, and it pops up the QR code. So I'm going to go to my camera and I'm going to record my screen and I'm going to capture that. All right. And so now they get to see exactly what I'm showing here on my screen, on my phone, and then they would just pick their name. So if I'm Carol, I would select that and it shows me pan left. Got it. If I need to, I can tap on this screen. If I'm not Carol, I can go back to the home page and I'm George. It says turn mic 3 up. That works out perfectly fine as well. Go back to the home button and Ruth, it says zoom in to close up on speaker. Now notice that it's super large, the text is, all right? So what I've learned from this is let's go back to our stage and let's change the font size of this and let's make it be somewhere around 80 instead. And that looks a whole lot better on my phone. So I would say for each of these, 80 is good for a reasonably sized message, all right? So it may look small to us here, but the main thing we're doing is communicating the message anyway, all right? So we're just looking at it. So I can turn that message off by simply clicking on it and it goes away. I turn it back on and it comes right back up, all right? So this is valuable when it comes to communicating silently with people in your ministry, right? This could be something that you can communicate with the people upstairs if you needed to, right? You can let them know, hey, we got 5 more minutes before service is out, or we're wrapping up, or hey, can you send down such and such with the snacks? I don't know, whatever it may be. You can have this silent communication that goes on, and FreeShow could be the hub for all of that. All you would do is name your people, create a stage layout, and then allow them to take a picture of it. And they would need to have their phones readily available. They can do it from a computer as well. Like I said, if you're going to do it from a computer, all you would do is in that stage option, or not the stage, in the settings option, I'm sorry, you would go to connections. And then here, when you hit that option, that the stage show, it'll give you this option to put in a IP address. You can send that IP address out if you wanted to, and they can have it open on the computer to easily see those messages because you've got it on a bright color. And if there's nothing there, it's going to go completely blank. So there'll be a blank screen for most of the time. So if I turn off Carol's, turn it back on, you'll see it goes blank there until I actually put in a new one. So I might say, instead of pan left, I'm going to say pan to audience. And then I turn it back on and it shows up for that person on the media team to see. So let me know your thoughts about this. If you've ever done something like this, what do you currently use to communicate? Do you prefer it to be more silent instead of having to talk? If you got those over ear comms, let me know. Have you considered this being a good viable option for you? If so, let me know that as well, or tell me why it's not a good option for you. I would love to hear it. And how could we improve it? This is just us in the lab trying to figure something out. And this was a really fun idea to me to think about ways. We've talked about this on Free Show Friday a lot, with some questions from the community, with people having some suggestions, which I love. And this is my best iteration of how to do this pretty seamlessly for you and your team. All right, I'm Gary B. Jr., your media consultant. Have a great rest of the day. Thank you for watching this video. I really hope it helped you in a major way. Now, at this point, most people would ask you to like and subscribe, and I think that's great, but my goal is a little bit different. My goal is to empower as many people as possible all over the globe. And there's one way that you can really help me do that, and that is to leave a comment below with a question, a thought, how this video may have helped you, or things that were left out that you still have questions about, and to share this video with someone just like you, someone who is looking for answers, someone who's curious and wants to grow. With your help, I believe we can build a community of people that want to grow together. So until next time, God bless.